Hey, so in this video I'll be doing a review for Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Season 2, Episode 15, One Door Closes, and I haven't got around to it yet. So in this episode it left off last episode where Bobby only had was about to give 12 hours until she had to come back to her base, but she said she only needed 6, so comes out pretty much. But it starts off the day that S.H.I.E.L.D. fell, and throughout the episode it shows flashbacks of what happened with Bobby and Mac and Gonzalez's character that we met in the last episode, I think it was, yeah. And surprisingly, Isabelle Hartley is in this like, it wasn't a big surprise because I knew she was coming back, but it was surprising that she was actually working with real S.H.I.E.L.D. at that time, because she ends up working with Hunter at some point after, I guess, and become a mercenary and all that kind of stuff. So there's some kind of time gap between the day S.H.I.E.L.D. fell and the time that we meet them in the first episode of Season 2. So, but yeah, I honestly can say that Coulson, for his first mission after the S.H.I.E.L.D. fell, kind of got off easy, because Isabelle Hartley and all that kind of like how like weird, like close area. I'm not sure how to explain it, but it's just the way that they shot it in like a grayish tone, and how brutal actually these people were on this ship. It just feels like they were more brutal than what they were dealing with John Garrett and Ward were, how they were being treated. It was cool to see the flashback and how they actually started S.H.I.E.L.D. because apparently Fury's mission was to save S.H.I.E.L.D., not start a new group of S.H.I.E.L.D., but save S.H.I.E.L.D. from Hydra. So that, I'm just guessing that's in their minds is, let's just start a new S.H.I.E.L.D. But yeah, that's about it in the flashback part. But at the beginning of the episode, pretty much, it was Coulson confronting Mac to 5 minutes in, pretty much, May and Bobby already fighting. And of course, because she's the cavalry, which I'll get into that in the next episode, because it's getting closer to that time. But yeah, May wins, but it was like so fast. Like 5 minutes, you got there not even 5 minutes before that, and they're already fighting. It was cool to see that. But we get to see a little bit of more of an upgrade of her batons, because I know she uses them as weapons. She used them as a taser for tasing Mac, but now she has this weird like laser type thing where she can burn through anything, I guess. Because I don't know how she did it, but she has somewhat, I guess she can turn it, and it turns into that type of laser. Yeah. And they're after this toolbox, obviously, and Fitz actually was tinkering around with the Lola thing, because what's called Coulson already knew something was up, because he knows Lola from the back of his hand, but this weird thing is in the car Lola, and they find out that it was scanning for vibranium, and we'll if you don't know what vibranium is, just watch Avengers 2 because they will probably explain it. Or actually, it's Shield, so but they will explore more of that in Avengers 2 apparently, or that's what it sounds like. I'm not 100% sure, but yeah. Uh, that toolbox is vibranium and stuff like that. But what's called Gonzalez is pretty much a dumbass. Sorry, my language if a kid's watching, but really, um, he says he didn't want any of this like to happen this way, but uh, the toolbox forces, like, even though he didn't say it in this episode, he said it in the last episode, but he could have technically just knocked on, a lot of people are saying this, he could have knocked on his door and talked to Coulson about it, but no, he actually decides to blow a hole in the wall and gas everyone to knock everyone out, except May, because she found out in Bobby's locker there was a gas mask, so she was in the shadows the whole entire episode. But so yeah, but some little details I liked about this episode were that Simmons, for a second, it did look like she was working for Real Shield, but she ended up tricking Bobby and tasing her, I think, and that Mac is not a bad guy because he did end up trying to save Fitz, so he actually does care about him, and what's called and no. Coulson actually knew about Gonzalez, and he was trying to find him for a couple months after Shield fell, and wanted him on his team and all that kind of stuff. So it was nice to see that. And on the other side, Sky is in the cabin that Bruce Banner built, but apparently, Cap actually stayed there for a bit. We're not sure if that actually is true or not, but we know it's supposed to stay in the Hulk. And she's sitting there relaxing, and she decides to put her gloves on and becomes really dizzy. Which I don't think I would wear gloves that makes me dizzy and stuff like that. So, but it was cool to see that they like lit up when she put them on and stuff like that. But she doesn't know anything's going on in the Shield base at this time, and Gordon pops up to talk about how she's different and how her gift can be good, because this was the only time she was able to, this was the only time he was able to get to Scott, because she was always around Shield agents, but now she's alone, and he's actually able to talk to her and talk about the coach that he really did not like, and people actually can stop saying that he's the reader now, because he's not the reader, because he's actually in the comic books as Gordon. But yeah, he just says that just pretty much it could be beautiful, and we actually do see that her her gifts could be beautiful, because it shows when she's washing her hands, she's like relaxing and calm, and the water starts to spiral. And for me, I actually liked it. A lot of people just thought it was cheesy and looked weird, but I actually thought it was nice to see that it was like spinning, like spiraling in the sink, which was nice. It looked nice to me. So Yeah, and he said, "Only I will be back when you need to." And this is when May comes in and says to Sky, "S.H.I.E.L.D's coming for her," which that kind of phrase is not a really good phrase to say, but she ends up running, and what's called the real Shield is coming for her, and Bobby comes in to actually like Bobby comes in and pretty much says it might be a friendlier face if you actually come, and we're not going to use any icers, but this douchebag, I don't know what his name is, I don't really care, but he's a douchebag. He decides to use a real gun and shoot at Scott. He's not just a douchebag, he's actually a dumbass too. He shot at Sky, knowing that he has powers, and she like deflects the bullet, but also deflects, like pushes them back and destroys like five five or six different trees around. Uh, but he's still alive apparently. Uh, yeah, and she gets nervous and says, "Gordon, help," or something like that. And Gordon comes in and pops out, and then he's gone. Uh, and also something else that I liked was that uh, we saw that lately Fitz and Simmons have been going like farther and farther away, and in this episode they actually were going farther and farther away because they don't really. She doesn't really call Leo by Fitz by his first name Leo, which was like, okay, yeah, you're pissed. But yeah, that's about it. Comment down below what you thought of this episode and what I should review next. See ya.